What is going down, faithful? How are we doing today? Sorry, having a little bit of issues. Facebook doesn't want to cooperate with us today, so we might not have Facebook in the group with us, but that's all right. We are going to be talking about and reacting to the news with Brock Purdy, what that means moving forward, how we are going to move, how we're going to operate, what comes next. We're going to get into all of that right now. Let's go. You already know the vibes. Smash that like button, drop a SDS in the chat. We move. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Oh, look at that. We've got notifications going through. We got people checking in on Twitch. No Facebook today because whatever. StreamYard doesn't like us today. That's all right. I'm having technical difficulties across all platforms. Instagram is down. Literally, Instagram is down. Gosh, what is going on around these parts? Doesn't matter. We still vibe. Appreciate everyone tapping in. All 18 of you. we'll have a nice condensed group today apparently, but it's all good because we got stuff to talk about. Shout out to all the SDS. We see you guys dropping in the chat. Always good to hear from the SDS as we get started, because why not? We're a gang. We move. So good to see all of you guys, man. Shout out to Hendrix. Glad to see the noties are finally working. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to stop the grind, but it's all good. We move regardless. Again, we'll hit. We've hit technical difficulty. We hit technical difficulties with Ayuk's interview. Hey, we just keep moving, baby. We just keep moving. But let's talk about Brock Purdy. Let's talk about what we have heard in regards to his return, what that looks like, and what it means for the San Francisco 49ers. Bear with me here as we get things cooking and organized and ready to go. We're gonna have a low key private session today. It appears. But anyways, like as you can see, I posted this an hour ago, 224 likes. A post like this, especially with this much magnitude and news to it, I would typically do 224 likes probably in the first 60 seconds. So Instagram's down, Facebook's down. Shocker. VIPs only. You already know the vibes, but let's get into it. I could do an entire show on all the different social media platforms and all the problems I have with them, but that's a show for a different day. Today we're going to talk about Brock Purdy. So as we know, we have been waiting to see what is going to go on with Brock Purdy. His UCL, is it going to be Tommy John? Is it going to be a repair? Is it going to be rehab? All that type of stuff. We got our answer today, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Purdy will be having a UCL repair on February 22nd. So at the end of the month, Brock Purdy will be repairing the UCL. He will not be having Tommy John surgery, which is a huge sigh of relief. I cannot express it anymore. How huge this news is, because as we know, if Tommy John were to happen, that would mean the San Francisco 49ers would be without Brock Purdy next season. But all per Ian Rappaport, who reported this earlier today, Brock Purdy will have the repair and he will be ready to go for training camp. So Whoo, boy, I can breathe a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but this is big time news. It changes content for the rest of the way that we got going here. It changes how we talk about the quarterback position moving forward. This is pretty substantial news. So obviously, good good news for Brock Purdy, who very well could win Offensive Rookie of the Year coming up. So we'll see what that all looks like. Um, I guess what I can ask, since we are a small group today, it looks like 44. We got 44 people in here. If all 44 of you maybe hit the like button, maybe that will trick the algorithm into like maybe hyping us up a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. But we got a real intimate group today, but we got a bunch of legends in the chat. So it's all good regardless. Because I want to ask a poll question, but I guess we'll rock the polls with our private VIP group. So I asked this question to the community on YouTube about half an hour ago, and I'll pose the same question to you, since we both know, or since we all know that Brock Purdy, all things considered. Hey, I also see your super chat, Corey. I'm going to get to that in a second. Um, let's see. Uh, would would you guys? Who would you want? All things considered, Trey Lance is healthy. Brock Purdy is healthy. Going into training camp, who do you guys want as the starter? So I want to see what you guys think in the chat. Drop it in the chat. I want to see, because I do think this is going to turn into a polarizing topic this offseason. We already know it is a polarizing topic, but this is going to be something that's going to be heavily discussed. You can already see it start to pick up a little bit. I asked this to the YouTube community 32 minutes ago. We've already got 3,000 votes. 24% want Trey Lance, 72% want Brock Purdy, 5% want other. I would imagine the other. Oh, we see we got Jimmy Garoppolo's. There's no chance that Jimmy Garoppolo's returning. I always say Jimmy Garoppolo is there's always a chance. I would say now more so than ever, there is no chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is returning to this team. There's just no way. There's no way it's happening. I'm giving it a full blown 0%. Um, even last year I said it was 0.001% because anything can happen. I'm giving it full blown 0 chance Jimmy Garoppolo returns. He's not coming back. And if he comes back, I'll eat that. But no, Jimmy Garoppolo's not returning. Let's see what the chat is looking like. We've got Lance. Ooh, Lance heavy out the gate. Lance out the gate. 4 Lances. Then we got 13 all the way. Purdy. Quarterback battle, which is what it's going to be, but that's not the question. The question is Purdy or Lance, because that's how we move in the offseason. So it started out heavy Trey Lance. Then it goes right into Purdy. And I agree with this. This is how it should be, but that's not the exercise that we are executing. Lance 5. Hopefully Purdy be ready week 1. I want to see Lance can do first. Let's see. Trey, Purdy. Purdy. Give Trey a chance. I'll go with them. BCB, Purdy, BCB. So 72% are family and friends of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has a lot of family and friends. So it does feel like the reason why I'm posing this and we're talking about it is because this is the new Jimmy versus Trey. It's going to happen. It's already happening. We've seen it happening through the season. Everything that you've known about Jimmy versus Trey amongst the fan base, now get ready for Purdy versus Trey. So that's what a huge portion of this offseason is going to be. It's going to be a lot of that type of conversation. And that's what we're gonna be talking about. Woo! Aren't you excited? I can already see it cooking up. Can already see it cooking up. Yeah, we got the VIPs today. This is a low key VIP, special VIP room today. So shout out to everyone who's vibing with us. All our social channels are down apparently at the moment, but we got the VIPs in the house. So I agree with those who said open can't battle. That's how I view football. Holistically, organically, like competition. Competition reigns supreme for me. I know it's the NFL, it's a business, it's not black and white competition. There's who's getting paid, it's, there's roster politics, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into who actually plays. But as simple as it can be, I think it has to be an open competition. Even with Brock, like Trey Lance is going to have a good head start. Getting into OTAs, not having to look over his shoulder in OTAs, I think will help Trey Lance. I think it will help Trey Lance kind of settle in for training camp because, as we know, the team rallied around Brock Purdy. They really did. Like they are bought in on Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy, he doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. You know what I mean? Like he's already solidified in the locker room. I still think the locker room is trying to figure out who Trey Lance is from a player perspective. Again, the respect comes from how you play on the field. That's where the ultimate respect come from. They all like Lance. They all like who he is. They like his character. They like his work ethic. Like that's not the problem. That's not the issue. The issue is they don't know who Brock Purdy is, or excuse me, Trey Lance is yet as a field general. That's the next step for Trey Lance is who is he as a field general? Because they have been led into battle with Brock Purdy, and they have been nothing but successful. The only time they weren't successful with Brock Purdy was when he got hurt. That's the only time. Literally, the only time Brock Purdy has lost, he didn't even get the opportunity to finish the game. He got 6 plays before. So, still, even then, Brock Purdy is kind of undefeated. Kind of. I mean, he didn't get a shot to play in that game really against the Eagles. No one's going to hold that loss against him. So that locker room knows what Brock Purdy is. They know he's a winner, and they know he can operate the scheme that Kyle wants to run. So it's going to be a big offseason for Trey Lance to be able to take over quarterback one reps, get back in the groove of, being that person at the top, and allow Trey to get his feet back under him. Then heading into training camp, I think it should be a full-blown battle. I think that's how it should be. I think it should be. I would say this. If Brock Purdy's healthy, you give Brock Purdy the first snaps in training camp. Again, this is my opinion. I don't expect you guys to all agree with me, but I want to tell you my opinion and why I feel this way. So, quarterback one is going to be Brock Purdy in training camp. So, but they operate it just like they did last year. 3 snaps for Brock, 3 snaps for Trey, 3 snaps for the backup. And they just are constantly rotating these guys, and they have an open competition. I think, again, the locker room knows, right? The locker room knows that Brock Purdy has proven he could and should be the starter right now. So you can't, again, it gets tricky when you start handing positions to guys. And I'm not saying Trey Lance isn't worthy of it or whatever, but again, you have to look at the last thing that we saw. And the last thing that we saw was Brock Purdy leading this team all the way to the NFC Championship game. So all things considered, Brock Purdy's ready to rock. He's healthy. He's quarterback one. He takes the first snaps in training camp. But Trey Lance is right there behind him with the opportunity to pop in and compete. And that's where we see who rises to the top. And that's how I think it should be handled. I think Trey will understand that. I think, and I'm looking at it from Trey's perspective, he already kind of understands that. From my perspective, he had a great interview with Rich Eisen today. I think that's what Corey's talking about. Corey says if Lance does half as well on the field as he does in these interviews, it's a wrap. So Trey Lance went on with Rich Eisen today. He had a really great, that's the thing. It's like Trey is a good dude. He's a good guy. I don't think you can question his character. I don't think you can question, who he is as a person. He seems like a really genuine guy. He seems like he's level-headed, mature beyond his years. And now, of course, that's going to come across well in interviews. But that's not how we judge quarterbacks. We judge quarterbacks how they play on the field, what they do in the midst of battle. That's how we judge quarterbacks. So again, all this talk and the talk takes on a conversation of its own. But at the end of the day, we aren't judging Trey on those intangibles. It's great to have that. He's not a knucklehead. He's not a doofus. He's not going to put his foot in his mouth, and that's a good thing. But ultimately, we've known that about him since he was a rookie. So I don't expect that to change. And what we are trying to evaluate is how he manages himself in a huddle, how he manages himself when they're down 10 points, how he manages himself in those types of scenarios. So Trey, he says all the right things. He does all the right things. Now we just need to see that energy shifted to the field. It's really what it comes down to. And I think Trey Lance will definitely have an opportunity to do that. And that's why OTAs is going to be so big for him. So big for him. And I think that will be a big proving point to his teammates. Where are we at mentally? You know what I'm saying? I think the hope is that Trey Lance is healthy. The ankle doesn't bother him. He's not suffering any setbacks, either physically or mentally, from the ankle, and he's able to come back and he's able to play. And he's able to play at a high level. Um, so getting that opportunity in OTAs to kind of reassert yourself, show these guys, because again, Trey's in an awkward ass spot. Let's not pretend like he's not in an awkward spot. He's been bookended by Jimmy and Brock. That's a hard spot to be in because of everything that has revolved around it. That's a hard spot to be in. So the best thing for Trey is to go into OTAs unfazed, like he's not gonna be a a, a meanie to anyone, but I think I hope you know what I'm trying to say. Like this unwavering confidence that I'm quarterback one. That will earn the respect, I think, of the rest of his teammates. If he can come into OTAs like Brock who, and again, not in a disrespectful way, not in a way that is anything taking away from Brock, but again, we're talking about competition. That's the hard part about this league, this sport, is that you got to compete against the guys in your room. Yes, you compete against opposing teams, but in OTAs, in training camp, week to week, you're still competing with the guys in your room. So I'm sure Trey's got a lot of love for Brock, but Trey's got to come in with a mindset that he is going to beat out Brock. And that if he can beat out Brock with how well Brock played last year, then the 49ers are going to be in good shape. Trey will be in good shape. And that's what it will come down to. Mumbo said, Trey, $5 super chat will be the quarterback. Trey needs playing time. We know Brock can come in whenever we need him, even though I don't think Trey will suck. Yeah, I mean, we definitely know what Brock Purdy is capable of. What we're trying to figure out is what is Trey Lance capable of? What can Trey do that Purdy can't, or vice versa? And that's the thing. Purdy came in and played better than Jimmy. So the bar is high right now. And if Trey can meet that bar and jump over that bar, that's only a good thing for the San Francisco 49ers. Again, I know a lot of people are going to put themselves in a category of I'm a Trey Lance fan or I'm a Brock Purdy fan. You guys know how I roll on this channel. I really don't care. I say it all the time. A potato could be my quarterback as long as the potato is winning, as long as the potato is leading, as long as the potato is helping my team win. That's all I care about. So, again, I reference a potato because I don't care about potatoes. And at the end of the day, like, I don't care about who's the quarterback. I just care about that the quarterback that we have is capable and wins football games. If that's Trey Lance, great. If that's Brock Purdy, great. That's why it needs to be an open competition. Right now, Brock Purdy has the upper hand. And now, Trey Lance, hey, everyone loves a good underdog story. Trey Lance is now the underdog. Use that. Use that. Use that underdog mentality to attack this offseason. Let's see. Cynthia says, hi, Brad. You're famous now. Should Trey get offseason coaching on throwing mechanics? So I believe, I don't remember which one, but one of the beat reporters asked Trey Lance if he's going to work on his throwing mechanics this off season. He said no. Obviously, Trey Lance's mechanics has been something that's been heavily discussed since entering the league. It's something that I've paid way too much attention to than I probably should have. So I feel like I'm well equipped to discuss his mechanics. Um, I would say I like his answer because I think it will stop additional questions about it, and it will stop, additional eyes on and kind of picking apart his throwing motion because it got to that point, man. Like we were slowing it down, we were comparing it to last year. Um and you know, Trey's probably had enough. I think part of Trey, I would imagine, he just wants to put his nose down. He wants to work. That's it. He's tired of being compared to this guy. He's probably tired of being talked about with this guy. Your mechanics aren't good enough. This blah 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 blah. In all honesty, my assumption would be that yes, Trey is going to continue to work on his mechanics because why wouldn't you? Uh, just like, yeah, but you can say like the same thing about like a Steph Curry or Clay Thompson. These surgical shooters, they they have been their form is defined. It's but they still work on it. It doesn't, they're still looking for ways to improve. They're still looking for ways to get better. So I would imagine Trey Lance is going to be working on his mechanics. He's going to be fine tuning them. He's going to be making sure it's better. He has to work on his mechanics because he hasn't been able to step into a throw since September 18th. This guy hasn't been able to the dude just got his boot off. So, yes, he will be working on his mechanics. I understand why he said no, and it was a good answer because it gets people off your neck a little bit, um, and it gets the follow up questions off your back, and gets less of the microscope on you. But this guy hasn't been able to step into a throw. He hasn't been able to hitch off his back foot since September 18th. He will be guaranteed. He will be working on his mechanics, just not in the public eye, and he should. So, but I like the answer he gave. I think he will be working on his mechanics 100%. Um, so it will be very interesting to see how he bounces back. I think all eyes are going to be on the quarterbacks, and even with this news of Brock Purdy going to have the UCL repair, being ready by training camp. Um, I still think the 49ers bring in a veteran quarterback still. I think they need it. They need it. They need someone. So I've went through my list. I would be happy. I would beyond happy with Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke. Again, I've sold myself on Sam Darnold, which I cannot believe. Uh, I can't. Every time I say it, I still like, what the heck? But even with the Steve Wilks hiring, Steve Wilks is going to have very specific insight into Sam Darnold. I know the Shanahans have liked Sam Darnold in the past, and so maybe that is a perfect storm of getting Sam Darnold, which again, third string quarterback, not first. When we were talking about adding Sam Darnold as a first string quarterback, there was tons of rumors about Kyle Shanahan trading for Sam Darnold. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, kicking and screaming like a little baby. Like if this team brings in Sam Darnold to be the starting quarterback, I will be furious. I really did try to make it known that I did not want Sam, but it is wild that here we are, and I would probably take Sam Darnold. What a time to be alive, right? What a time. Sam Darnold, 49ers, Steve Wilkes, DC. We got a long offseason ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. You better strap in, buckle up, get ready. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you got the noties on, because we're gonna be all over it. That we have had so much breaking news just in the first week of the off season, and it's not going to stop. It is going to continue on. So you better rock with us. We're gonna be covering it all. We're gonna be talking about all of it. We're gonna be building out, hypothetically, these rosters and how we think. So is this a thing for everyone, or the notifications just not working for everyone? Because Hendrick said his weren't working, but he said his worked today. Is anyone else having issues with live notifications? This would be helpful for me, because maybe I could reach out to YouTube and let them know that tons of people aren't getting notifications for lives. It comes and goes. Worked for Charlene. Worked for Cheyenne today. Okay, so it's working for some, not working for others. All right. So that's good to know. I can at least bring it up. Did you guys see what Christian McCaffrey has talked about today? So it is now Wednesday, and they are now asking 49ers players about my interview with Brandon Ayuk. Man, that interview has turned out to be content fuel for everyone at the Super Bowl, which is crazy. But CMC gave such a good answer. I love the answer. It was a masterclass in completely avoiding the original question. That's the thing with these savvy NFL players, man. You ask them a question and they just start talking about something that has nothing to do with the question that's asked. And it just kind of forces the interviewer to it just kind of forces them to move on to the next question, because they're like, all right, well, he didn't answer it. He gave me an answer, but he didn't say anything about what I asked. So on to the next question. And CMC did just that. So again, they asked him directly about one of the Brandon Ayuk quotes from our interview, and he gave a gem of a quote. He says, "I hope both teams lose." This is kind of the majority of the clip we can listen in on.
Brandon Ayuk said that he thinks the Chiefs are going to expose the Eagles defensively, something that he thought you guys could have and should have done if everyone had stayed healthy. Do you agree with him?
I hope both teams lose. To me, it doesn't matter. Obviously, we wish we were playing so bad. That game still hurts, and it will for a while. But I think Nick Bosa said it best. I don't know if I'm going to watch the game. Might hurt too much.
Still, do you think the hurt's ever gonna go away? I mean, at all?
I think it'll start to go away once next season starts. So we'll have a lot of fuel this offseason.
Take me back to the sideline. Were you over there lobbying Kyle to just let me play quarterback the rest of the way?
I was not. No, I mean,
Brandon Ayuk said that he thinks the Chiefs are going to expose.
So, shout out CMC. The question was, do you agree with Ayuk saying that the Chiefs are going to expose the Eagles? And like a media trained savant, he picked a great answer and just said he avoided the picking a winner by saying, I want both of them to lose, which is a galaxy brain answer. And then just started to talk about, like, how tough the loss was. Like, he completely avoided the question. He gave a great response that was enough to, again, give you something to bite at, quote, retweet, throw in a graphic. But you can't get mad at it, right? So, because I think the big response from this is we all agree. I hope both teams lose. It's really hard to pick a winner for this game. I don't like the Chiefs for what they did to us in 2019 or in the Super Bowl that year. I don't like the Eagles after the last 2 weeks of just hearing them talk all the time. Their fan base gives me a headache. I like the way they're built, but the fan base has just made it impossible for me to root for them at all. So I went on 95.7 the game yesterday. I had to pick the Chiefs. They asked me for a winner. I picked the Chiefs too. Again, I like the Eagles roster. I love their O-line. Their D-line's awesome. I like, if I have to objectively evaluate the Eagles, I like how they're built. But I can't stand their fans. So I can't do it. Can't do it. So, and I can't stand the way they're victory lapping Brock Purdy's injury. So I couldn't pick them. I had to go Chiefs. Man. J Tan says, I'm rooting for Rihanna. I'm rooting for Rihanna too. Save us, Rihanna. Save us, Riri. Please make us forget the sadness. So Nick Bosa said he wasn't going to watch the Super Bowl. Are you guys going to watch a Super Bowl? Are you guys going to suffer through the pain and watch these? I think I have to. Like, it's gonna hurt. I think it's been painful all week. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have this. I don't know if it's because I was at the game, but I'm starting to have like PTSD flashbacks of that game. Like, where I'll just be thinking of something, doing something else, not even thinking about football. And all of a sudden, I just like get this flashback from the Eagles game, sitting in the stands, like knowing there's no chance that the 49ers are going to win this game. And it's like the third quarter. And I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, and just this sinking feeling that comes over me, like, oh man, that game. Oh, taking your daughter to Disneyland for putting up with me all season. That's good dad move. Good dad move. And if you can schedule that on the Super Bowl, you actually might the park might be a little lighter and it gets your mind off watching the game. That's actually a galaxy brain move right there. That's actually a really smart move, especially if you don't want to deal with the Super Bowl. Completely disengage, take the family down, and go on the Mickey Mouse rides. So that's a good move, smart move. I don't know if we talked about this, but yes, Trey Lance is off the boot. So Trey Lance, again, last time we saw Trey Lance, he was in a boot. This time he is not in a boot. And we even got him testing it out a little bit. Let's see if I could pull that up. So we also got Trey Lance testing out the ankle. So let's see Trey testing out the ankle.
All right, Trey. So, Trey, I got the Trey Lance ankle cam going. We're gonna watch that game. We're gonna make sure.
Check the game.
Sound good. Sound good.
Can I walk?
Yeah, go ahead. You're good. You're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. Okay, we got that.
Check the game.
I gotta be honest. Just my professional opinion is you look good. We gotta get you stepping down though. That's it.
Step down. Let's see. One leg.
That's perfect. You're good. You're good. Oh, we hop back. You see it?
A little bit of everything.
There you go. All right, Trey. So Trey, I got the Trey Lance ankle cam going. We're gonna watch that game.
So it looks like Trey Lance is doing better. And again, all signs point for him coming back. So that's going to be an interesting offseason, man. Interesting offseason. But hopefully we'll get some clarity. And it's going to be fascinating to see what we get this offseason. Anything else that you guys want to talk about in our VIP SDS group today? Real low key. We're low key today. But not bad. Still, the chat was vibing. We got good engagement in the chat. But if you want to fire off any questions, any couple, whatever, feel free. What are y'all cooking up Sunday in terms of food? I don't know if you guys vibe with this, but I am recently a huge fan of baked brie. Do you guys mess with baked brie? Woo! I'm probably gonna have to do a baked brie. Another one of my go-to favorites for the Super Bowl is you get like the cheesy pull apart bread. So you get like a round sourdough loaf, like one of the rounds, and you cut it into a grid. And so like you don't cut it all the way through, but you basically just shove cheese, butter. You could put bacon in there if you wanted, herbs. You just shove all the little crevices with cheese and all the ingredients, and then you bake the loaf, and then you pull it out, and you just every time you grab like a little block of the bread, it's got all the it's not healthy, but it is delicious. It's fantastic. Barbecue, you can't go wrong with barbecue. Yomo says, Brad, thank you so much for the news and updates about my Niners. I live in Connecticut, so I don't get any news. Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, Yomo, man. I appreciate it. It's cool being able to vibe with fans that like aren't in the Bay Area. Obviously, Bay Area, you have I think a better understanding of like local beat and radio stations and all that type of stuff. But I think it's like when you're outside the market, it's cool to be able to connect with those types of fans. Chicken adobo, okay. Pansit. I don't know if I know what that is, and I also don't think I am saying it correctly. But also lumpia. Whew. I love lumpia, man. So good. Last time I went to Levi Stadium, they have hula truck, and I got a chicken adobo burrito and I got lumpia at Levi Stadium. I was like, yeah, we're winning here. Cheese platter, charcuterie board. Oh, there we go. Frying up a bird. That underrated move right there. That's an underrated move for sure. Baked brie with fig jam. I'm telling you, man. So good. So good. Brisket and ribs at my crib. Pull up. Ooh. Damn, I'm hungry now. I'm officially hungry. It's lunchtime. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I'm very hungry now. My guy says, I think I'll cook my specialty chili sauce. Has grass-fed ground beef, shredded bell peppers, carrots, bolognese sauce, black refried beans made from scratch, cooked in beef broth. Mix it with pasta. Woo! Yes, I am starving now. I am officially starting. Carne asada. Bro, I could do some carne asada. Yeah, I'm officially starving right now. Charlene says Hawaii is all about the California style poke and the garlic butter edamame. Maybe some kimchi. God, this was a bad idea. Now I'm starving. He said, can't forget my mother's baked ziti. Gosh, I'm so hungry now. I'm Lance Chatty today. I just want to say Jesse posted a good video with different Lance plays, and we forget what else he has showed besides the bombs. Special stuff, though limited. It may not be here, but Lance will be it. Feel free, man. Well, like I said, we're gonna be talking about Trey Lance a whole lot. And that's, part of the thing too is I see a lot of conversation on social media about like Trey Lance's traits. I think it's pretty evident that Trey Lance has pretty much all the traits. He's got height, weight, speed. He's got big arm. He has an ability to get the ball wherever he wants it. That's not the problem with Trey Lance. With Trey, it's just doing it consistently. And until he can do it consistently, then yeah, I don't think there's I think it's a lazy take to criticize Trey Lance and what he can or can't do, because he can do pretty much everything. It's just he's in that stage of doing everything consistently. That's where he's at. And the greatest measure of success in the NFL is how consistently great you can be. And right now with Trey, it's just got to be a little bit more consistent. But again, that's what comes with lack of reps. So there's an answer, there's a reason. A lot of people want to go back and forth about it. But Trey Lance has all the tools, has all the traits. Now he's just got to do it. That's where we're at. He's just got to do it. He needs the reps. He needs to go out and do it. That's it. I don't think you can really discredit his traits, his tools. He has been a little inaccurate at times, but again, dude's got his whole mechanics retooled. Par for the course, and with more reps, the gap of inconsistency will close. And again, I've talked about it with Brock. Brock didn't have to retool his mechanics. He didn't have to do that. Trey did, though. So it's just we're back to the kind of the Jimmy Trey is now Trey Purdy. That's where we're at. And people are going to just pick sides and dig in, and that's how it's going to be. I'm never eating a Philly cheesesteak until we beat them again. I never got to go to one of the legit Philly cheesesteak spots. I realized that as I was leaving. The one I went to didn't have bread, so I couldn't get a Philly. And then I just never went to another one after that. I got a Philly cheesesteak, but it wasn't from one of the main spots. But the food there was delicious. God, I'm starving. All right, I might need to get out of here and get some food. Because my stomach is growling at me now. And I think I need to eat. So I appreciate all you guys. We'll be on. I'll be on probably on tomorrow. Something will probably happen tomorrow. Give us something to talk about tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys always. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Hit the sub if you haven't. But I would imagine you guys are all subbed. We're pretty low key group today. But appreciate you all. How about this? On Friday, we'll do like a Super Bowl dish draft or something. Like we'll figure out a way to do like we'll do like a top 10 mock draft of the best Super Bowl apps or food. So we'll get creative. We'll do like a draft. We'll do a Super Bowl food draft on Friday. Grab your cookies on the way out. Appreciate you guys. Make sure I'm gonna go grab some cookies right now. I'm hungry. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Great chatting with you. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to